got my mic. I didn't check my mic, but here we go. We got the mic set up now. So let me repeat myself. Welcome to this discussion tonight, you guys, about Elohai, Seraphi, Braharama, the Elohai, Elohim reference, Seraphim, Cherubim, all of that, all part of what we call angels or archangels. And so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And a lot of us on a spiritual journey, we find ourselves connected to one of these bloodlines, one of these angelic races. And so this is something that is different than the typical religious point of view on angels and, you know, even spiritual new age systems that talk about angels. I mean, think about this, you guys. Angels and archangels are beings from other worlds, or you can say other locations, other dimensions. So are aliens. Angels are from other worlds and other, you know, you can say dimensions. Aliens are from other dimensions. You guys, these words are synonymous. Angels are ETs, ETs are angels. And so I talk about this at the beginning because there has to be some reference point, because religion are going to think that ETs are all demons and evil. I made videos about that. Okay, that point of view. What makes an angel, what makes a fallen angel or a demon? Okay. Your consciousness, your thoughts. It's not limited to a specific race. It's reference to any being. Doesn't even have to be a typical alien. It could be any species, any human, or any even the animal kingdom, you guys. I mean, they're not as much developed. What I'm saying is it has to do with your thoughts and what you're doing with your thoughts, what you're doing and how you're treating other people. So you can go into the extremes of hatred. You're falling, becoming a fallen angelic. So it is a path of chaos. It is a path of vampirism, taking other people's energy. It's the path of narcissism, the path of psychopathy. So what is the alien following? Is it following those paths, those tendencies, those characteristics? Or is it following, you know, you try to bring this into the paradigm of a religious person. Okay, so it has to do with the individual qualities, the individual characteristics. How are they treating people? That's what makes a good or positive, a positive or negative human. That's what makes a positive or negative alien. They have a thought process, a thinking, a free will, just like we do. So this is all based on polarity, based on alignment. What do you align with? What does that alien race align with? Or alien being? So we can have, what I'm trying to get at, for those who are ignorant in that point of view, you can have positive alien races. Okay, so since we're talking about angels and archangels, we're going to be talking a little bit about the 15-dimensional time matrix. What's the stage that we're all coming from? Okay, what's our reference point is the time matrix. And there's different levels of reality of the matrix. And some of these, we're in the third level. The humans and the earth are in the third level. But in these higher levels, these beings come here, or they can. Why are we aware of these higher level beings? Okay, why do we have stories and writings and mythologies on angels and archangels, spiritual beings, guardian angels? Because they have some type of effect on us. It's a multi-dimensional reality system, and so we're going to have that possibility of being affected by beings who can get here. If it's not through a psychic or telepathic connection, it's going to be a literal, close encounters of the third kind type of connection, because they can get here through stargates. They come from their reality, not this reality. They're coming from another reality to this reality through portals, wormholes, doorways, gateways. Now, there's all kinds of natural gateways, portals, stargates, but there's also ones that have been created through technologies by advanced races, elder races. Now there's highways, like a whole bunch of roadways, a network of portals and gates. So there's actually wars fought over these gates. But this is how these angels, negative or positive, and archangels, higher dimensions, negative or positive, can get here, can influence, can still be part of the human drama. Some are coming here to assist the positive ones, the positive alien, extraterrestrial, guardian angelic races. They're trying to help the human spiritual awakening, assist in the healing process, assist in the ascension process. Okay, so we talk about an advanced concept where we have, with the human population, angels and archangels. Okay, souls and oversouls, which are higher levels of creation, higher levels of the time matrix, of the realities. So, the whole process of incarnation, what is that? You're a spirit, a consciousness becoming physically manifest, incarnate into the flesh, into the body. You go into the body. What goes into the body? Your true essence, because you're not the body. The body is a vehicle for your true essence, which is a spirit. Spirit, that which is non-manifest, becomes manifest, becomes incarnate. We go through an incarnation process. It's called the fetal integration process. Fetus in your mother's womb. This soul essence, spirit essence, goes into the fetus. This is how a being from another world, an angel, an archangel, soul essence, comes into the fetus. And it's planned. It's not someone who's snatching your fetuses from your mother, and just coming in there. This is all, you chose your parents. They created a body for you. And so you went into the body through the fetal integration process. It's also called soul integration process. Somehow a higher level of spirit came into the body form. And that process is called soul integration or fetal integration. So you came inside the mother's womb. The angels, well, the humans, of course, but also angels are coming in here the same way. Archangels are coming the same way. Avatars, indigo children, are coming through the fetal integration process. We have angels and archangels and other types of alien beings, negative and positive, who are here, look like humans, amongst our population. And a lot of these videos that I'm making point to this whole thing about how there's different blood types. And I just made a video recently about the human origins, about the root races and the starseed races, and some people, not a lot, excuse me, some people will debate this. Some people will talk about how we came from one source. They're sitting here spending all this time trying to explain how humans are coming from one source. All life on Earth comes from one source. Oh yeah? Really? If we all come from one source, why is there different blood types? There should only be one blood type, homie. But there's several blood types. And you mix the blood of some of these blood types, they will attack you. It will attack or destroy or cause harm. Even with a certain pregnant mother, without the intervention of the hospital, the mother could die by having the wrong blood type mixed with the baby's blood type. The mother's and the child could be different because of the father, because of the soul essence coming in. So if we're all coming from some mitochondria Eve or some atom or some whatever unified source, you can't explain why we have different blood types. Because we have different blood types because we have hybrids here on Earth, not only human hybrids, human Anunnaki hybrids, human reptilian hybrids, and indigo hybrids, negative and positive hybrids. It's not as if, these beings wake up and know who they are. They have to go through an awakening just like a starseed or a person on a spiritual journey awaken. So, yeah, we have aliens and angels and archangels out in the higher dimensions. But we also have angels and archangels coming into the earth drama through reincarnation, through soul integration, fetal integration. So it's here we have angels and archangels, and we have these higher realities and star systems and stargates where these angels are originating from. And some of those motherships, some of those UFOs are angels and archangels. Now, the light side guardian beings don't need a UFO, do they? They use their Merkaba, star Merkaba, to travel through a stargate to our dimension. And most of these guardian beings are coming through Sirius, the planet Sirius Stargate 6. You guys, humans are Lyran, right? But we have become part of the Sirius planet, Sirius B. We're brothers and sisters with the Sirians now. Because of our planet got destroyed, the Armentana, the Lyran Anuhazi had to go to a different system. They came to the Sirius system. And so they started living on Sirius B. If I said Sirius A, that's a mistake. I meant Sirius B. We came to Sirius B. Now we're Lyran Sirians. We have our ancient genetics coming from Lyra, but now they're mixed with Syrian genetics. Now we're Lyran Syrians. And this isn't just your brother Anuhazi's making stuff up. This is coming, everything I'm teaching is coming from the Emerald Order teachings. Okay? And they talk about that process, how we had the Lyran Elohim Wars with the race. It's called Elohim Wars because it was the Anu Elohim who were causing the drama and killing people, killing planets. Like Star Wars, blowing up a freaking whole planet. And so we're going to be talking about the Anu Elohim because they're one of the races. Angelic races, but a negative fallen angelic race. So let me say hello to everybody because this is a live recording, a live broadcast. My Chiwa Holy Ones. Looks like we got UTD in the house. Welcome, Holy One. Thank you so much for being here. Woohoo! Been a member over a year. Much respect to you, brother, sister. We also have Little Goddess. Oh, yeah. Can't hear me. I fixed that problem already. Right? Testing. Yeah, we fixed that problem. Yeah, there we go. Now we can. Thank you, Enleton. Yeah, I usually on top of that, but this is why usually someone reminds me. Thank you guys for reminding me. Sarah Holder, sister, Machiwa, glad to see you. I sent you a friend request weeks ago. Oh, sister, let me explain. I have probably over 1,000 people friend requests. I haven't gone through them all, and this is why I'm asking you to email me or one of the moderators email me the URL, the link to your profile. And then I can see the request that way and accept it. So thank you, Sarah Holder, for that. Just let me know the link to your profile, because your request is mixed with a bunch of other requests. So, and only because I haven't had time, you guys, to go through all these. I don't even know. There's got to be over 1,000. I never got caught up on my friend requests. So if it's not just Sarah Holder, if some of you also have become my friend on Facebook and I haven't seen your request, well, send me a message and say, hey, I'm trying to become your friend. Here's my link to my profile. There we go. All right, so we got G-Light in the house. Thank you for being here, Holy One. Always here with positive vibes, sharing love, light, and gratitude. My Chiwa fam. The Bride of Christ in the house. Hey, my Chiwa. And Latin, my Chiwa, happy to be here with all of you. Bride of Christ says, I'm a Blu-ray. There's Blu-ray right there. Liren, Pleiadian Starseed, welcome, Pleiadian Starseed. Yamila in the house, woohoo! Gina Sutton, all right, Star Sister, so happy to see you. Let's have another tequila sunrise. I had one. I don't know what you were. You were drinking something else. Beers. I think she likes beer. You can relax sometime, you guys. And I don't normally drink throughout the whole entire year. I won't drink except once or twice for celebration. Peace in the house. Hello and sending love to all as one. Good to have you, Peace. Let me get this up. My incense here. Oh, I first have to light the charcoal. That would help. Galactic Guardian, Machiwa, beautiful loved ones. All right, Star Sister. Got this. Got that charcoal. Our grill. Our incense grill. Got some amber. This is what amber looks like. And I just need a piece. Grab a little bit of piece. Which is, amber is luxurious incense resin, so. Got some white copal. I get it by the pound, baby. I don't mess around. This will last me a whole year. So might as well get a whole pound. Why not? It's less than 20 bucks. Here's some frankincense resin. Because we should regularly. I smudge with this incense almost every day. So it's called spiritual hygiene, baby. With gold copal. So I like white and gold. They have their both, their own unique properties. And benzoin. It's always a classic that I like, benzoin. Helena in the house, Machiwa, and to all of them in the live chat. Thank you for those awesome vibes and energies, Helena. Bless you, sisters. Sapphire Phoenix 23 in the house. Woohoo! Sarah Burchett in the house. So happy to see you guys. Indigo Wizard Brother, what's up, man? El Salvador, Kira Shea, Kunda Ray, Unisai, and Machiwa. And we'll be talking about those levels of creation tonight. Carle, Machiwa Holy One, welcome, Star Sister. Good to see you. Woohoo! We got it going on. So many positive, loving people. Star Child 369, Machiwa brother. Woohoo! Yeah. Stardust Goddess. Woohoo! We got 4 moderators at least. Starman might be here too, so there'll be 5. All right, you guys, I better get started. But if you guys have questions tonight, please tag Christos Avatar TV somewhere in your message so it becomes easier for me to see. Yeah, like Gina Sutton said, even if I'm not going to be speaking there, I'm still going there. And this guy who wants me to teach, who wants me to speak, says he wants me to pay him $1,500. I'm not paying him $1,500 for me to speak at his event. They should be paying the speakers. You're creating an event of speakers. Why are you charging them? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Bless you, brother, but I'm not agreeing with that. I'm moving on without that. So I'm still going to go to the event in Las Vegas. Even though I live near it, I still live an hour and a half away from the event, you guys. I'm not actually living in Vegas yet. Once I'm able to, I'm gonna move back to Vegas. I'm sick and tired of being in a small town. I'm sick and tired of having internet issues. Speaking of which, my internet has been going down. So I had to buy another internet to have 2 internets in case the first one goes down. It really sucks. And this is one of the big reasons why I'm moving, because my whole life is based on it needs to have excellent internet. It's not for the past 2 years it hasn't been. I've been dealing with that. So anyways, angels, as we talked about already, are these otherworldly beings. Negative and positive, depending on their alignment. That's what makes a fallen being. A being that falls progressively, just like progressively we ascend level by level, dimension by dimension. Well, you fall by level. You fall by dimension. Okay, so it's not like that in this life. After the death process, after you become 80 years old, you die. Well, where's your soul essence going to go now? If you ascended, it's going into a higher dimension. If you didn't, you might be just repeating or falling into a lower dimension. And so this is why we have visiting angels and archangels, in service to the earth, in service to humanity. And because of the drama, because of the problems with Ascension, because we're being influenced, affected, and even our DNA being manipulated, mutated by these fallen angels. So the guardian angels are here. They want to help. Looks like we got some. Elaten, woohoo! Machiwa, love you all, keeping the message alive. Yes, you said it, brother. That's how we keep this message alive, is by your guys' assistance, by free will donations, because you agree with this message. You want this message to keep going. So thank you for that exchange of energy, Elaten. And I know it's not your first time. Thank you, Holy One. Much respect. Corey Martin asked a question. And you guys remember, please tag Christos Avatar TV with your questions so I can see it. I just happen to see Corey Martin's question here. Could you please explain what you mean by we don't come from one source? No, that's not what I said. We come from one source. You say we have been mutated over the years. We are hybrids, etc. So these alien races, they don't come from source. Everything comes from source. Maybe there was some misunderstanding or misinterpretation. Everything is coming from the same source. When we say the word source, we mean God. Okay? Source implies where everything is coming from. Everything comes from one source. We come from the same source as the fallen angels or the good angels. Everything, the bug kingdom, the animal kingdom, all these different all life, everything in existence comes from one source. So I don't know what you mean by that, Holy One, but I have always talked about the law of one and all coming from one source. And so everything came like we have this whole 15-dimensional time matrix, and it's spheres within spheres within spheres. These are different levels of source. These are different levels of God's frequency, consciousness, energy. And so the lower you go in the frequency, the more distortion of source you are, but still source. Even a fallen angelic who falls into the phantom matrix, that means they took on the Metatronic body form, they took on the Metatronic consciousness, and they're keeping themselves alive by vampiring other life. They are still from Source God. Nothing changes that. Religion gives you a totally different opposite message. And we talk about the distortions of message. The distortions of religious teachings and false creeds, and how they're actually fallen angelic systems. Religions are not natural organic systems. Religions are actually vampiric systems. You don't need anything between you and Source God, including a church, including a pope, including a bishop or pastors or anything. No Jehovah's Witness. You don't need anything between you and God. And God, certainly the creator God, the source God, there's only one of those, doesn't demand sacrifice, doesn't demand anything. You can even hate source if you wanted to. It's still not going to judge you and punish you. That's all concepts coming from the dark, twisted, false creeds of religion, and which are explained not by your brother, not my opinions and personal ideas. It talks about in great detail how the churches, how all the religions have been taken over and now is being run by the phantom agendas, the fallen angelic agendas. And so people can believe that or not. All you have to do is look at this is something that I have to point out since it's near the beginning of the show. So let me do that real quick. 1 second here. Because there's all kinds of negative verses in the Bible that show you, that should reveal to you that this religions are twisted, dark systems. Deuteronomy 20:16-17. Complete destruction of cities. You shall not leave alive anything that breathes, but you should utterly destroy them. That includes men, women, children, and animals, and all the buildings. A divine directive, right? To commit absolute extermination of entire cities and their populations. But your religious logic might be, they deserved it. You see what you're aligning yourself with. Get this, Hosea 13:16. You tell me if this is Creator's work. You tell me. Their little ones, this is Hosea 13:16. Their little ones shall be dashed in pieces. Babies and toddlers should be ripped apart. And their pregnant women ripped open. And this is in the Bible. An image of violent cruelty inflicted upon children and pregnant women. Again, claimed to be under divine punishment. Children mauled by bears, by God. And he cursed them. Oh, a cursing God. Black magic, casting black magic, destruction magic, chaos magic, death magic. This Yahweh, Father God, is casting these. Curse them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 bears came out of the woods and tore 42 of the boys to pieces. And this was for mocking a prophet, Elisha. Children are mauled by bears, a horrifying and disproportionate act of divine punishment. Ripping open pregnant women, murdering and ripping apart the kids, destroying cities, annihilating entire races of people. And it's pro slavery. It's pro against women. Women shall remain silent in churches. 1 Corinthians 14:34. They are not allowed to speak, but must be in submission. As the law says, the directive has been interpreted as limiting women's participation in public worship. Let me see. Now therefore kill every male among the babies, kids, little ones. Kill every woman that hath known by laying with him. But all the women, children, keep alive for yourselves. The males, the children are to be killed. The virgin girls are taken, implying enslavement or forced assimilation. And this is in Numbers 13:17. And what about now go and strike Amalek and devote to destruction all they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox, sheep, and camel and donkey. Why not? Here's the slavery. Ephesians 6:5. Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of heart, just as you would have obeyed Christ. And there's all kinds of slavery verses. Romans 6:16, look it up. 1 Corinthians 7:22, Leviticus 25:44, Ecclesiastes 2:7. Read your Bible. We know exactly what it's about, what exactly religion is about. Okay, so this whole topic tonight about angels has nothing to do with biblical concepts and ideas. And the Bible and religion don't talk about aliens, do they? Even though they're mentioning them, they're mentioning Elohim, fallen angelic angels. They're mentioning seraphim, also fallen angelic angels. The guardian law of one angelics are called Elohai, Seraphi, Brahmarama, Oraphim, Azarite. These are holy angels, angelic nations. And just that term alone, angelic nations. There's more than one type of angel. There's more than one type of race. And according to these teachings, and we're going to show you on the screen, because people like to talk about Bible verses. We can talk about Voyagers, Emerald Order. We can talk about Emerald Order verses. And I'll show you Emerald Order verses that talk about the Guardian Angelic Nations. 25 billion, not million, billion. 25 billion different planets. You call them star nations. So there's 25 billion angelic nations. So that could be one planet with billions or trillions. These huge systems could have trillions of populations throughout a solar system. But we're talking about billions at least, billions times billions. That's a hell of a lot of angels and archangels and avatar angels. Countless angels. Positive, law of one, omnichristos love angels. Of course, there's legions of fallen angels, but that's not tonight's topic. I make lots of videos about the fallen angels. I made one even recently, so check that out if you're interested in that. But tonight's going to be about the positive. Emerald Covenant, Emerald Order, and Seraphim Order, and Violet Flame, Brahmarama Order, Metaterrestrial, extraterrestrial, souls, oversouls, angelics. Beings who are following Creator's, source God's original intention. Not some vampiric, Metatronic agenda, intention. Which you saw right there in your biblical scripts. The fallen angelic consciousness, right there. I don't even have to convince you. All I have to do is point to the verses, and you decide. You have discernment. Okay? The beings that we're talking about tonight, the guardian angels, extraterrestrials, star leagues, star nations, following the law of one, are the ones that, the angels that we're referring to. So, I explained what can be a fallen angel. It's any consciousness that is in a path of chaos, that is vampiring life energies, who's a narcissist, a psychopath. It doesn't mean that an indigo child, for example, type 3, can't be a narcissist until it awakens. So it all depends on your journey through your life. What was your life journey about? Because I had some negative tendencies in my 20s, in my 30s. I had to get out of anger. A lot of us had to get out of that. So we weren't fallen angelic, but we were someone who was being influenced and affected by this earth drama. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, please put Christos Avatar in your message. So, what is reality? Okay? It's a 15-dimensional time matrix, which is a hologram field. These are hologram fields. Universes are part of that hologram field. Galaxies, planets, people are all hologram fields. And it's all designed to make it look like it's physical, just like virtual reality is meant to make it look like it's real, or you're in some other location or some other world. Well, the holographic system is all an illusion, but an intentional illusion. Beings who came to the time matrix wanted to experience physicality. So God, source God, creator, there's only one of those. The one, are many. Is many, the many are the one. The one source God projected its consciousness in the 15-dimensional time matrix. And it was kind of like a prism, a light hits, and then it breaks into many different frequencies of wave spectra, light spectra, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, all these different colors, gold, silver. These are spectrums. These are frequencies of consciousness, of creator, of source God. And so consciousness came in, ascended master consciousness came in, and it became like a spectrum. Like that. It put part of itself in density 5, part of itself in density 4, 3, 2, and 1. Because you can't take this consciousness into a hologram field without blowing it up in one location. This is why you got to put the spectrum of its consciousness in different levels. So down at a lower level of itself, of an avatar, for example, we're just seeing a piece of that. At the avatar level, they see all of it though. So the lower you are, the more distorted and the least that you feel connected. But it's a process of expanding and reclaiming in ascension and awakening. You're going to be reclaiming those higher versions of yourself. Like an example of our teacher, Ashiana, master teacher. Brilliant. Even watching some of her oldest work, she's absolutely brilliant. She knows this information. She's been into the CDD plates, direct access, remote access. She's brilliant. So in the 3D, you can still have avatar consciousness. You can still see higher levels while you awaken in the 3D. You can become your own, reclaim your own brilliance, your own soul, your own oversoul. Reclaim your avatar. Reclaim your ascended master self. See your collective self. And that's what this is about. It's about, reclaiming our psychic abilities, reclaiming our true body matter template. Thank you for those positive emojis, whoever's doing that. Bless you. Thank you. And we're meant to reclaim our, become the highest potential that we can while we're in 3D. Become a walking, talking example of Christ consciousness. Bring in that Kirashe, bring in the Kundalini, bring in that God self, Unisai self. It's an identity of all. I have the identity, your little pet has that identity. It's all within the one. Remember, the law of one means you're part of God, you are God. It is the one who's experiencing all of itself through us, because we're all selves are the God self. And when you start to go into Kathara, biospiritual healing, one of the moderators, please list that link, Kathara link. You learn the science of God, the science of the soul. It's tangible. God is tangible. And so we're going to be developing ourselves and bringing in this code, bringing in this knowledge, finding our angelic self, which is fourth, fifth, sixth dimensional self. Okay, so the angelic identity is right here. Okay, you have chakras all along your body. You have 15 chakras coming through the middle, through the prana tube. It's called the prana tube. In the middle, all the way down to the earth, all the way down into the galactic level, universal level, cosmic level. We have this connection. And so heart, throat, and third eye is density universe 2. This is density universe 1. Base chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra. This is where Earth is. This is where we're currently embodied, down in the density universe 1. So if you want to reach higher levels of yourself, the angelic level of yourself, go for the heart, throat, and third eye. Green ray, blue ray, indigo ray. You want to reach your archangel self? Those chakra are the crown, violet, the thymus, gold, and the thalamus, brain reference. Thalamus chakra is silver. That's the archangel level. You would work on those 3 chakra: crown, violet ray, gold ray, silver ray. See balls of those rays. See Merkaba stars of those rays. We use these stars because they are light codes, symbol codes. In Kathara, you're going to learn about light, color, sound, and symbol codes, and the base codes of matter. We learn the science to understand more of creation, more of our architecture, more of our identity. How are you going to bring in the oversoul if you don't know what that is? If you have no reference point of what an archangel identity is? You have to learn about these identities. You have to learn these, go through these teachings. Have you read Voyagers 1? Have you read Voyagers 2? Have you read Archangelic Realities? We give you these PDFs, you guys. You can get these and start studying them for free. We don't charge you for the teachings. So you can start watching the video workshops for free. They're online, man. You just got to find them. Put Ashiana. You see how to spell Ashiana? That's how you spell Ashiana. Just use her name. Ashiana Video. You can look up Emerald Order. Look up, well, I was going to say law of one, but there's another law of one that could be getting the results. You don't want to go, that's a distortion. That's a new age law of one. You could put innerchristos. Innerchristos, Emerald Order, Ashiana, video. Emerald Order, video. Are you getting it yet? Freedom Teachings, video. So it's not hard. You just got to think about searching. Most people are sitting here asking and asking and asking when they don't ask themselves to search. That's what search engines are for asking, for looking up stuff. So now you know what to look up. There's no excuses. There's a lifetime of work out there, you guys. We need to start learning about the 15 chakras, 15 dimensions, learn about your Huva bodies, learn about the crystal body, learn about the symbol codes, the fire letters, learn about all these concepts and terms. Learn some of the Anahazi language. Shaddai. Look, you guys, we have 444 views. Can you see that? And we have 99 people. There was 99 people online. I'm seeing a 99 and a 444. Machiwa. Indigo Wizard. Thank you guys for sharing that. Of course, Rachi, Luis. This is why we do it for you guys. Got Shroom Tea in the house. Good. I'm glad you stopped by and said hello, Shroom Tea. Joseph, life is still dense and tough sometimes. No matter how much I meditate, staying positive is tough sometimes. I will still push on always. You got it, brother. And it's not easy. It's a challenge because of the spiritual war that's happening on earth. Even if people are not aware of it, we have these legions of fallen angels and who are manipulating our society, our religions, our spiritual beliefs, manipulating our DNA, our political systems. They're invading. It's an invasion. But it's all based on free will. And they get our free will. This is why now you have people going to churches and subservient and worshiping and putting down their women and drinking blood ritual sacrifice, celebrating it. Drinking the blood of Christ, eating the body of Christ. It's all dark magic practices. Torture, death, blood, sacrifice. This is why it's not easy waking up. Because the majority of the planet is sleeping, is lost, is following phantom, false creeds. So it's also important to be mindful of your, I'm still talking to Joseph, being mindful of who's in your life, being mindful of who's in your influence. Okay, whatever's coming into, I live alone, so some of you live with a bunch of people. What are these other people bringing into your life? What type of conversations, what type of experiences are you having because of the people in your life? We have to start making divorces and breaking up and leaving people, being separate from the vampires in our life. Vampires in our family, vampires, narcissists, psychopaths in our school, in our workplace. We need to start putting boundaries on that. So that's one of the things you need to check, Joseph. If there's influences in your life that you need to transmute, get out of your life. Maybe you have to leave the city that you're living in. Maybe it's partially about your diet. Do you have a spiritual diet, Joseph? These are things you need to start thinking about. You also need to be thinking about protection. And here we learned some powerful protection, such as the Maharic Seal technique. It's even mentioned in Voyagers, but you want to go through the Kathara to learn that. And so you're going to be into meditating. Thank you for your question, Joseph. Bless you in your path. It's not easy, but we don't give up. We don't have that luxury to give up. And this is about the reclamation of Earth and humanity. And we came here as angels and archangels. We came here to be the way showers, show people the way of the Christ, the Christos, of the law of one, be trailblazers, be examples, beacons of light, speak light, think light, behave like light, having blessed relationships and conversations, experiences, and work on your shadow. I can also say that to Joseph. Make sure you do shadow work, brother. Make sure you do ego work. We need to do work on ourselves. We're not perfect. We're not masters, but we're trying to improve the distortions, transmute the distortions out of our life. And so that's part of our practices as spiritual light workers, empaths, indigos, starseeds. Part of our routine should be spiritual hygiene, should be cleansing, purifying, learning knowledge, practicing techniques. Maybe people think you're weird, people what are you involved with, right? You're going to get resistance, even from people you care about. They're going to resist what you're doing now. They won't understand a lot of these. The majority of people will not understand this whole innerchristos point of view, this law of one, unity consciousness point of view, Christ consciousness point of view. People will attack it because they're programmed and aligning with phantom, service to self, and these angels and archangels and people working the intention of creator, source God. We're bringing in the original concepts and teachings of what our race is based on. Some of us are Christos avatars coming in. Some of us are Azarites. So let me show you some of these angels, holy ones. I'm going to get the diagram open in Photoshop. Let me switch to that right now and show you some of these races. It all started at the top with the three primary founders races. And these are the guardians. You can call them metaterrestrials. And someone put the link to my diagram. This is how I can sustain myself. I sell this for $15. It's an excellent teaching tool, but it's also an excellent learning tool. And you're going to be getting some of these races information compiled, inner earth races, angelic human races, indigo children races, and different tribes, even the fallen angelic races. So it's definitely worth $15. It's an excellent study tool. So this is the 15-dimensional hologram field. This is where there can be distortion. This is where there can be shadow aspects. It's not that God is creating a demiurge. That's nonsense. It is the free will beings down in this system who have created darkness or shadow or vampirism. So that's not God doing that. That's God allowing itself, parts of itself, faces of itself, free will at different levels of itself. Like, these are some familiar names of angels, but we call the negative angels are seraphim. The negative ones are Elohim. These are the positive versions. So that's just another red flag of religion showing you fallen angelics instead of the positive angelics. You won't see this in any Bible. Elohai. They're not going to mention Seraphi. They're certainly not going to mention the Brahma. Okay? These are the original primary founders. There's only 3 of them. 3 primary founders. When you hear us talk about guardians, Well, this is who they are. Who are the guardians? It's these beings right here. Density 5, because there's 5 density. Here's one density universe. Here's the 4th one, the 3rd, the 2nd, and the 1st one. You'll see them across here. Density matter, density universes. And you can also call them holographic universes. Same thing. And it goes through different densities. What a concept, huh? From carbon matter. There's no angels in carbon matter unless you incarnated here. This is where angels are coming from. Notice I put a reference to angels. Density universe 2, dimensions 4, 5, and 6. This is what angels are. This is where angels are coming from. This is where density universe 3, or harmonic universe 3, this is where archangels are coming from. Okay, so the official name is Oversoul, but you can call them archangels. The official name here is souls, but you can call them angels. Once again, notice that angels can be positive or negative. See the red ones? Those are the fallen versions, fallen races. Excuse me. So this is part of our history. Now, certainly, if there's 25 billion Guardian Angelic Nations, this is obviously not all 25 billion. We're just referencing the ones that are listed in Voyager's books and some of the video, Emerald Order video series workshops where they talk about these races. They don't talk about all races in existence. They're talking about the specific main ones that are involved with the human Earth and Ascension process. And so, like the Orifeme. The Orifeme, it even tells you what type of being they are. Well, it's a feline avian. That means it's part cat, part bird. Isn't it interesting how cats and birds don't like each other, but they're actually connected? 1 second here. I gotta blow my nose off camera. Let me get my microphone. All right, sorry guys, I just had to blow my nose in. It's not as bad as it was, but I'm still having to blow my nose from that fever I got 2 weeks ago. So anyways, yeah, so these are some of the 25 billion star leagues, the Orifeme angels. They're actually quite beautiful. Let me show you some pictures. These are older pictures now. Like, I can do a lot better artwork, but I haven't done the Orifeme with the new techniques. So let me show you what a feline avian actually could look like based on the descriptions. And I only create these based on the descriptions of the Voyager's books, what they say these beings look like, because they don't have pictures. They have some good descriptions though. So let me look for a good example of a feline avian Orifeme. And so I am still looking. Oh wow, it's let me switch the extension to Photoshop so it opens up properly. 1 second. Thank you for your patience. We got this. We got this. All right, so this is an Orifeme as it loads. Feline avian. See the feathers and the feline features. this is based on the description that I've seen. And this is probably where you're getting the griffin example from. I think so. Or something like it. Some of our mythological creatures are based on Oraphim, extraterrestrial angels. And so, and you will see it listed in the Guardian book about the different types of Oraphim. Like some of them are described as like looking like Persian cats. So imagine a Persian cat, bipedal humanoid. So these are also a type of Oraphim. Well, that one doesn't look very much like a bird-like being, but they also say in the Voyagers books that some of them look like birds, like white eagles. It's what it says in the Voyagers book. They look like eagle-like entities. They're not the Ceres. The Ceres is a different race. And they also say they look swan-like. So there are some swan-like versions of these Oraphim. And there's a whale version of these beings. Actually, that's not it. This is what I made. So this is whale Oraphim. And so even though you think of a typical angel with wings, well, this is considered an angel. 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 This is an angel. Angel or archangel who are coming from this level. There's a higher level one called the Emerald Oraphim. So notice that the Oraphim is where the indigo children come out of. So they're part Oraphim. If you consider yourself an indigo, well, actually humans are also created by Oraphim. So the Terahertz has a little bit less than the Emerald Oraphim or something like that, but just know that some of the other races have Oraphim in it too. You guys, if you're interested in these Guardian teachings, the Oraphim is a huge deal. They're even help make the blue humans called Maharaji. And so, but the Azurite is its own race. The Azurite is what you call a super hybrid. I'm playing around with the different buttons here. The Azurite is part feline, blue flame, and part gold flame, avian mantis, and part violet flame, cetacean pegasi. Let me show you that. So the Azurite is part feline, right? So that would be the Anuhazi, feline. It says it's part avian, which is the Ceres, gold flame. So part blue flame, part gold flame, and part violet flame. Well, it said it was also part mantis, so part avian, and part pegasi, which is violet flame. This is what the Azurite angels are, and they're called blue angels. Azurites are considered blue angels. So they're basically like these beings, but blue, and with wings. So that one doesn't have wings. Let me see if I made one that has wings. I don't think I did. I don't know why, except for they're beautiful to me. I think they're beautiful. So, yeah, I don't think this was an Orpheme, but this is some of my earlier models as I'm trying to create the race. It goes through a lot of steps of trying to create the... Man, it's so hard. I mean, not hard. It just takes a lot of work and time. Okay, I had to find a good example of an eye, and then, like coming from a cat, and then I developed the cat into a more different alien looking being. See, I took the eyes and made it part of developing what possibly is an Orifeme, angelic. And so, like I said, these are old pictures. I'm a lot better artist now, so I just got to remake these beings. But anyways, let's go back. I got to go back. Man, it's not going to show me my first window because I got so many windows open, so let me just jump to it. So, this is some of the angels that we got going on. Azurites, we got Azurite angels, blue angels. We got the Emerald Orifeme and the regular Orifeme angels. And then where this whole famous Elohai Seraphi, those are considered angels, but they're way above the angel level, quite frankly. But when these races create races down in density 4, and those races create other races, and then they're still going to be considered Seraphi or Elohai. So let's say an ascended master collective came to our 15-dimensional time matrix. Maybe it went through the 14th dimension. Maybe it went through the metagalactic core. Whatever. It got here, it came here from the ascended master level, went into the time matrix, and then it will experience different forms of its family. If it's coming through the Elohai, so this ascended master created races in the Elohai collective, consciousness, DNA, genetics, and then these genetics keep going down into lower densities like the Anuhazi, and then the Anuhazi go down, the Anuhazi will create races in the lower density 3, such as the Lyran Syrian Anuhazi. And then the Lyran, these are archangels. This is the archangel level. Remember, density 3 is archangel level. Okay, so Lyran Syrian Anuhazi are archangel, guardian angelic, positive archangels. Same with the Arcturians. They're archangels. Elohim, the positive version of it, archangels. Leonines are archangels. Archangel is nothing to do with what the Bible's trying to tell you. It has to do with what universe it's in. Okay? Etheric matter universe, density 3. Crystal silicate matter, not carbon matter like we're experiencing. They're crystal beings. And they're also don't have gender anymore as an archangel. Angels still have gender because we're part carbon crystal. So it's not all the way transitioned to an etheric body form or consciousness. So these are archangels, which is reference to a specific density matter. This is what archangels are, and angels are a specific body matter. Okay? This is what an angel is. When people get these two-dimensional ideas, oh, it's Archangel Michael, it's Archangel Metatron. You guys, that's not what angels are. They are a type of matter body form. That's what makes an angel, is a carbon etheric matter body matter. What makes an archangel, negative or positive, is an etheric crystal body matter. So all these are archangels, whether they're positive or negative. What makes them an archangel is that this Hyperborean is a crystal being. This is a crystal silicate being, and a Pleiadian etheric ape is an archangel. This archangel Arcturian is a crystal silicate being. These Leonines that are being worshipped by Egyptians, they made the Sphinx based off of this archangel. So the Sphinx is representing an archangel race. Okay, there's mermaids, aqua hominids, positive. Of course, there's going to be some negative versions. I don't see them on here, but you're going to get negative mermaids and what do you call aqua hominids. Cetaceans has to do with any. So a cetacean is a freaking archangel, which is a porpoise, a dolphin, or whale in density 3. I don't mean earth whales and dolphins. I'm talking about crystal silicate dolphins, mer people. Crystal silicate Lyran Syrian Anuhazis. Crystal silicate bird people called Ceres. Gargoyles are freaking archangels, just dark ones. Zephlehims, those are like the Zeta Gray precursors, the ones who created the Zetas in the lower density universe. Zetas are fallen angels. These are fallen archangels. Are you getting the concept of what an angel and archangel is? Hopefully. It could be positive or negative, depending on their alignment, path of chaos or path of order. So these density 4 is way beyond angels. There is no more angels at this level. They're called avatars in density 4. Also, you're past crystal matter, crystal silicate. Now you're crystal liquid. Like the technical term is hydroplasmic prematter. Okay, so there's different races and different polarities, negative or positive. These are what you call fallen angels. Some of them will be archangels, depending on where they're coming from in the time matrix. Density 3 and up will be called archangels. Density 2 and up will be called angels, or just density 2's the angel level. So I wanted to show that because it's important to see a visual reference point and to get an idea of where they are in creation. And so let me check on chat. Oh, Indigo Wizard found the angelic realities. Yeah, that's what this is on PDF. He's giving you that link to it, so you don't have to buy the book. Machiwa, Holy One. Let me push refresh. We got Nikki B in the house. What's up, Star Sister? Yeah, let me push refresh, you guys, real quick. Keep hydrated. I'm waiting for the screen to refresh, you guys. Thank you for your patience. It's still loading. Uh-oh. Okay, so now it's loaded. And I just want to say thank you to those who have helped out the channel here. Wow, you guys. Indigo Wizard, thank you, brother. Thank you so much for your donation. I love those 3 9s. Those are powerful numbers. Much respect, brother. And he wrote a message. Anuhazi, interview with Tom was much confirmation on many levels. Keep it going, Vato. Woohoo! And Tom wants to come on again. So we'll probably have him come back because there's so much part of his story. And it just blows your mind, right? I mean, there's so much that that people haven't known. People haven't heard the whole story. They get Hollywood's version of the story, or someone like Sophia Stewart's version of the story, which is a disgusting part of the story. She's an up straight witch, man. She did that for a living. As you heard Tom say, that's what she used to do. Call a witch, call for a curse, Sophia Stewart was your witch. And she acted like it when you learn about it. So thank you for that, Indigo Wizard, brother. We got Illaton also helping out, brother. Machiwa, love you all. Keep up the message alive. Woohoo! Thank you, Illaton. Much respect. You guys, I can't do this without you, without that exchange. This is how I can work full time doing these teachings, making these videos for you guys. So thank you so much for that exchange. We also got Jazz. Thank you, sister. Woohoo! Another live one. Thank you so much. Loving the energy. Appreciate you, sister. Good to have you holding space with us here in the community. We got Divinely Protected. Woohoo! Thank you, Holy One. There we go. You said it. You did it, man. That's how we do this. Appreciate this, you guys. Coming together like this. Indigo Wizard again. Did you hit the lottery, brother? Woohoo! Indigo Wizard 9. Thank you, man. So much respect. Thank you for being part of this, brother. I'm glad you're service to others too. G-Light. Big hugs. Love you, Holy One. Love light. All oneness. Emerald Order teachings for life. You said it, Holy One. Much respect. Indigos, give me 5, Holy Ones. What's up? Some of you guys are angels and archangels. Nikki B, Machiwa, Holy One. She also left a message. Love your video. It's actually called Metatron. Megatron, I believe, is the movie, right? That's one of those, the negative Transformers movie. That's Megatron. But I know what you're saying, though, sister. Thank you. And I put a lot of work into that Metatron video, which is an Archangel video, but it destroys the whole New Age narrative. I mean, the Guardians go into it. Now, you realize they don't mention the word Metatron, but since it's a collective that created the Anu Elohim, there's plenty of talk about Metatron, but it's called Anu Elohim in here. And so I got to make a part 2, you guys, but I'm not sure. I'm waiting to see if that video is popular. It's not popular yet. So when I see it goes over 5K, then I'll make a part 2. If it's not, I want to be working on Atlantis and Lemuria and the human origins from Atlantis and Lemuria. We came from there. I mean, we came from Tara. It was Atlantis and Lemuria. There's 111 likes. Do you guys see that? In you can see it, 111 likes. Woohoo! Machiwa Guardians. So yeah, this is confirmation after confirmation, synchrony after synchrony. But thank you, thank you, Nikki, all you guys who are helping out. Yeah, this is actually a real thing where called Guardian Angelic Nations. And I'll show you the verses in Voyagers. I'm going to quote Voyager scripture, baby. And so it started with the 3 flames. This Elohai, blue flame, Seraphai, gold flame, Braharama, violet flame. They created lower races, and some of these ET races are the angelic nations. They don't teach you this in the Bible or religion. As a matter of fact, the Bible only teaches you about the angels of God, Father God, Yahweh, Jehovah, and some of them fell. That's all you're learning. When it goes much more complex than that, these teachings go way more than that. These are actually different races, not just one angel race. There's different races of angels and archangels. Countless, billions of positive ones. Who knows how many negative ones there are, but they're called legions of fallen angels. Okay, so thank you for those hearts, whoever's doing that. Give me a kiss. Mwah! I love that positive vibration of love. So yeah, we have, let me show you what it says in the Voyager's book on the screen, you guys. So it's transparent. It's a real term. It's a real thing. There really is something called, because I get sneers and jokes about it. There is literally something called interdimensional association of free worlds. Abbreviate IAFW. Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. IAFW. This is where some of these guardian races are coming from. There's something called the Guardian Alliance, a big deal. This is the security team working in the lower dimensions where we are. We're in the lower dimensions. So the higher dimensions are the Azarites. The lower dimensions are the Guardian Alliance. Okay, so not Galactic Fed. That's the fallen angelic crew. And tonight's topic isn't about debunking that. Just know that some of you are probably pro Archangel Michael, pro Metatron, pro Galactic Fed. But those are all fallen angelic entities. The false light, teaching you false Merkaba teachings. These beings need you to believe in them because you're feeding them. Remember, these Metatronic beings are only existing by siphoning life force from you, chosen ones, calling yourselves chosen ones, because the Jehovah's Anunnaki are calling you the chosen ones. This chosen one concept does not come from God, source, creator. It's not coming from angels. Chosen one concept is coming from fallen angels because they are choosing you in the new age. They are channeling to you. You think you're connecting to Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael does not exist according to the Guardians, if you care about that. It's actually a characterization. Archangel Michael is a personification. So is Metatron. But Metatron is based on an actual race. Archangel Michael is not. It's a race using the characterization of Archangel Michael to pretend to be a good guy. This beautiful male archangel of the Akashic records, who's helping light workers and you guys, it's all fabricated. But I have channeled and felt the energy of Archangel Michael. You guys, there are false light systems, and even though I haven't made videos about them yet, the video workshop series by Ashana and the books, they talk about in detail how they're using energy grids and technologies to channel to light workers. There's something called the Niburian dyadic crystal grid. There's that word, Nibiru, Niburian. Sorry, I got background noise here. And the word crystal, these are colossal city, building, like a Empire State Building, size crystals. Colossal size crystals in inner Earth, parallel Earth, and they used to be in our Earth, but they had to take them out because we're the ones that caused the cataclysm of Lemuria with those crystals. Those crystals were weaponized. So the Maharaji blue humans took them out. We were not responsible. So my shoulder here, got to rub my shoulder, because I sleep on this side and I sleep on this side, but this side I must have slept too much on it. So this Metatron and Archangel Michael, you guys, they are false light systems. They're trying to trick you to get you into the chosen one category. Now there's a whole bunch of yourselves tooting yourself, I'm a chosen one. I am channeling angels. And who are you channeling, right? When even the practice of channeling is not recommended by the Guardians. All of this is coming from a channeling movement. Channeling comes from the channeling movement. The New Age channeling movement. What's wrong with channeling? What's wrong with connecting to Archangel Michael? You guys, these are the fallen angel practices in groups. They pretend to be good guys because they're following free will, or it's all about free will. They have to trick you into the free will of giving them permission to come into your light body. Oh, you're channeling. You're giving some being permission to come into your light body. You're not stopping the channeling. You're going along for it because some being out there, some divine being is connecting to me. It's a great honor, Michael. Praise Michael. Praise Metatron. You see, it's not about channeling. It's about your inner Christos in these teachings. You don't need any self-proclaimed archangel between you and Source God. You have everything that you need within yourself. The Guardians call it your inner Christos. And all beings, that's your inner God spark. Your direct vertical connection to Source God is your inner Christos, baby. All beings have an inner Christos potential. But the beings who have fallen into Phantom have literally mutilated their own light bodies so they're no longer connected. They got some 7th dimensional level in Metatronic body fields. We're going to be talking about that in my part 2 of Metatron. They literally are playing Frankenstein or playing God and creating different types of life. They're taking life force energies and twisting them and created their own separate reality. And you need to have a reverse consciousness, and you give up your body and go into a manufactured, bizarre, Stranger Things type of body. So, that is what Metatron is. That's what Archangel Michael is. That's what Galactic Fed is. These are legions, Luciferian groups. These are extraterrestrial Luciferian groups. They call themselves the Luciferian Covenant. So we're going to show you. So basically, it's the Luciferian Covenant versus the Guardian Angelic Nations. Now I'll show you both on a. You had a sore shoulder too, G-Light? Yeah, I got this shoulder issue today. We got Giannis, right? Did I already mention Giannis? If not, Giannis, bless you, sister. Woo! Thank you, Holy One. We're getting so close to my goal tonight already. So thank you so much, Giannis. Bless you, sister. You're awesome. So happy you're in the community. Indigo Wizard a 3rd time. He mentions a comment. SG retreats? Do you mean Stargate retreats? What does SG mean? Heal, teach, love, live, and ascend. I see it happening clearly. Thank you, brother Indigo Wizard. Woohoo! Yeah, baby! We got Eduardo Cara also helping out. Powerful triple trinity number 333. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Team Founders Elohai. Woohoo! All right, we got some heavy hitters in the house. So yeah, you guys. Let me show you the Guardian Angelic Nations talked about here. I'm not just making stuff up. And I'm going to show you how Galactic Fed. So let's do one step at a time. I don't want to start forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing. So let me go here and switch to the PDF. I'm trying to fix this stupid window and it won't let me, so I'm just going to forget about it. Who cares? But that's not the PDF. What's up? My PDF is going to my Photoshop, so let me fix that crap. Okay, I fixed it. So, this is Voyager's. Let me look in Voyager's 1 first. You see, there's only like one picture in, or maybe there's two pictures that show you what these beings look like. Guardians, the top to bottom. So, Zionite, Athean, Zionite, Athean, Lyran Syrian Elder. See, they have the elongated skull. Quivetir, like Sasquatch, or... Oh, wait, maybe this is the Lyran Syrian Elder. And this one's... Azara? Because I'm trying to connect them. But this is the Queventilier, Sasquatch, or, you know, those people seen in the wilderness. They're actually psychic and higher level than we are. But this is not very good diagram. This is done 25 years ago, so of course it's not a very good diagram. And that's when she called herself Hayes, not Dean. So anyways, this one is apparently Ranthunkanyan Amera Zeta Gray. That's Amera, I guess the name. This is an Arcturan apparently. This one's probably Jonathan. Oh, and this one's a Zionite hybrid. So I guess this one's the freaking, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. I'm trying to find out which one's the Azara. So you can see what an angelic human looks like. It's either this one, I think, Azara. This one doesn't look like a human. I mean, come on, really? But who knows? Anyways, I'm going to go to the top and put in Guardian Angelic Nations. Nations or nation? There's only one result for nations, so I'll go to nations. And let me check real quick. So you see it's a real thing. It's actually in Emerald Order teachings. But let me cruise on down. And it is, remember I mentioned IAFW, Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds? It is the Guardians who created it, first of all. This is after the fall. After the danger and the problem of the fallen angels, the Guardians started creating organizations after that happened. So the Elohai, Blue Flame, Anuhazi, the felines, like the beings from Avatar, and the Seraphi, specifically the avian Ceres, and the Athean Mantis, because those are the two races that didn't fall from the gold flame, and the Violet Flame, Brahmarama, Pegasus beings, and the Inu Cetacean, that means whales. So the Pegasus and the whales from the Violet Flame. Those 5 races organized, they created the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, creating a unified collective. That's what the UIAFW is, a unified collective of Guardian Angelic Nations. IAFW, Fatos, was created, the Guardian Angelic Nations was created to protect our time matrix from fallen angelic race dominion, to restore the integrity of our time matrix that was damaged by the fallen angelic warring. I talked about the Anu Elohim Wars, the founder Elohim Wars. So the 15-dimensional IAFW, and it's over 25 billion. I wasn't exaggerating. Over 25 billion interdimensional Guardian Angelic Nations. That includes some of you guys. You're part of IAFW. You're part of a Guardian Angelic Nations serving as the primary guardians. You're on Earth helping this drama. You're one of these guardians, homies. You're one of the IAFW. You're one of the Guardian Alliance, Guardian Angelic Nations. You wonder where the word guardian angel comes from. It's coming from this. It's in our memory. It's in our code. We remember what guardians are. You are a guardian. And this was created, the Guardian Angelic Nations was created 250 billion years ago. Remember, we all got along for, this whole thing is, our whole time matrix is 950 billion years old. The warring happened 250 billion years ago. So we got along for 700 billion years. And this disaster happened. And so the Guardians started creating all these security, Universal Templar security team, and these nation of guardians, the IFW, because of what happened 250 billion years ago. It's a huge sorrow, a terrible event that happened. So now there's more references to the Guardian Angelic Nations, but I want to actually go to where it talks about the actual beginning races. So let me find that. I gotta go. I went up too far down, so let me go down from the top. There it is. Okay. So this blue flame, Elohai Emerald Order. This is what we're talking about, specifically right here. Okay, the Elohai Blue Flame Emerald Order Royal House of Armatena. That's what this is. The Blue Flame Emerald Order Elohai. The first ones, not second Gold Flame, not third Violet Flame, the first one. This is why they're the highest level. This is why they have the highest DNA codes going up to 36 strand, 48 strand. The other ones don't have that high yet. They're going to have to evolve themselves up to the blue flame. If you're gold flame, you can evolve yourself into the blue flame, but it takes many lifetimes to do it. So they seeded this Elohai Elohim. They're the first guardian, you would say, primary guardians. And then there's another one called the Gold Flame Guardians, the Seraphai Seraphim. This I showed you on the diagram. This is what they're referencing. This is the Violet Flame Brahmarama. You see, I did all this work for you guys on this diagram to make it all sense, to have a visual. So this is the Gold Flame and races, and this is the Violet Flame. So let's go up to the first one again. The Blue Flame Elohai. So this collective primary founder created two races. One of them is the Anuhazi. My name. They seeded the Anuhazi feline hominids 950 billion years ago. All the founder races were created at the same time the time matrix was created. 950 billion years ago. And this feline Anuhazi was on the D12, dimension 12, density 4, density universe 4. You see, some people say, why did you change the name to not holographic? What do you mean? Ashiana does it too. Sometimes you call it holographic, sometimes you call it density. It's not a big deal. You see it right here. The Voyagers also calls it density, not holographic. So, but it is a holographic universe. Density universe 4, dimension 12, prematter Lyra Armatena. Okay, this video is about the Guardian Angelic Nations, and that's why we're breaking it down. So this race created the Anuhazi in dimension 12 on planet Armatena. Okay, so the blue flame Lyran Anuhazi were created first. They're the first race created by the Elohim. And you're going to see the other race that the blue flame created. They only created 2 founder races. The other one is the Anu. This is the race who was coming from Metatron. This is the Metatron race who became Anu Elohim. They're the ones who fell into the Phantom Matrix. But right now, we're not going that far right now. We're just talking about the 2 races, the Anuhazi and the Anu. Here's back to the PDF. The Anuhazi and the Anu. Okay? Notice the Guardians don't spell it A-N-U. They spell it A-N-Y-U. I'm just saying that because the internet talks about the Anunnaki, the Anu, the Inky, Enlil, Marduk, and they spell it A-N-U, but that's not what the Guardians spell it. It's not a big detail, but I'm just pointing that out. Just so you know, it's the same being we're talking about. Anu, Sumerian gods are these race, but this is before they fell. And actually, that's the one I made video about recently. You guys saw what they look like in living color. And I'll just throw up one image of it real quick. This is the Anu, feline aquatic apes. Just like it showed here, feline aquatic apes. That means they're part cat, part ape, and some aquatic futures. So these are the 2 races created by the blue flame. And so, let me make sure chat's okay. Okay. So it is the Anu. See the Elohai feline Anuhazi. They're a positive guardian race. They're one of the 4 guardian levels of creation. Dimension 12. So they're in dimension 12. They're responsible for Stargate 12. And there's something called the Royal House of Armatena, the name of the planet. Ayani Grail Line, that means indigo child. Ayani is a reference to the Janus Ascended Masters who came to become indigo children. It is Janus beings, there's that word reference, like our star sister Janus. These are Ascended Master beings. Ayani. And I will just show you on the diagram as I feel called to. These are indigo children start in density 5. You see, they span from density 5 into the Ascended Master level. So the lowest ones would be the indigo type 3s, density 5. Indigo type 1s and type 2s are coming from the cosmos fields. And this is okay, Ascended Master in Anuhazi language. They don't use the English words and call them Ascended Masters. They call them Janus, Y-A-N-A-S. And you'll see that word in some of these terms, like Rama Janus, Vacha Janus, Granda Janus, 3 different levels of Ascended Mastery. Well, that word, Ayani, is one of these Janus. So we'll go back to that. That's what Yanni, Grail, that's where indigo children consciousness is coming from the ascended master level. So anything that's Yanni or Giannis is the highest beings in the time matrix. But they're basically visitors coming to help service to others. Help with something like the earth drama. So they're coming out of the house of Armatena. They're coming out of the Elohai group. Indigo children don't come from gold flame. They don't come from violet flame. They only come from blue flame. So if you align with being an indigo child, that means you're coming out of the Elohai. Okay? So they're also the ones that created the Oraphim, Tyranesium, Angelic Human Grail line. That's a mouthful, right? But they're not part of the Elohai yet. That's density 2, right? We know that they're not created until density 2. And so there's that Giannis again, and the primary guardians of our time matrix. Primary, the first ones. Not better, not greater, but greater in energy and consciousness, but we're not saying they're better in intrinsic value. They're the first guardians, the blue flame Elohai. That's why they're the highest starting from dimension 12. So the Anu were created on dimension 11, one dimension lower than the feline Anuhazi. So they became fallen though. The fallen D11 means dimension 11. The fallen 11th dimensional Anu, feline aquatic apes. I'm not making that shit up. That's what they look like. That's what they're described as. They were on planet Avion. Avion is originally in the Lyra system. The Anu became the Anu Elohim. Just like I talk about, where do you think I'm getting it from? I'm getting it from these teachings. The Anu fell and became the Anu Elohim. But this is a typo. This is supposed to be, this was written by a human, Ashiana. So she knows it's billion, not million. And so this is actually the race who's going to be creating the Anunnaki race, which is shown on my diagram. It is the Anu Elohim, who created the Jehovah Anunnaki. Notice it's almost in their name, Anu. And it's called, this must mean Avenger, Naki. Avengers of Anu. Avengers of Anu. Anunnaki. Because it's a child race of the Anu. Okay, so this is covering the blue flame. They eventually fell though. One of their races fell. And same with the gold flame. Two of the founder races fell. The Omicron Dragon Moths and the Odedicron Avian Reptilians. So the violet flame didn't fall. This is not violet flame, and that's a confusing thing. That's a different video. But those 4 races did not fall. So basically, there's 3 founder races that fell. The Omicron, the Odedicron, and the Anu Elohim. And then all the races they create are considered fallen angels. So this fallen angel race created a race called the Anunnaki. So of course they're considered fallen angels, unless they did some DNA, host matrix with the guardians. Individuals, certain families, or certain groups. There's been efforts to help heal some of these fallen angels, so some of them turned good. I'm just saying that they're not all bad, but most of them are. And so whatever races that this makes or this makes, whatever races that these make, like the Dracon as an example, then they're going to be fallen angels too. These are archangels though, this level, remember? So you're going to have malevolent dinosaurs, malevolent insectoids. You're going to have beings like gargoyles, Zephylium, avian Anu Dracos. So there was 3 fallen founder races, And all of the millions and billions of races they create will be fallen unless individuals or unless individual groups become healed. Okay, so that's what, we'll go back to the PDF. So that is the blue flame, who created the Anuhazi and the Anu. Now let's go to the gold flame, Seraphim, where you get the Seraphim is from Seraphi. Okay? So this is the second manifestation of creation in the time matrix. The ones who came out of, who were projected by the blue flame. So it's a lower guardian group, but it doesn't matter. It's still a powerful group. And this is where you get the Ceres, which is an avian race, bird people race. Okay? The Athean, which are like praying mantis. And no, this is another thing, okay, you got to explain to people. Just because there is a bunch of bad stories about praying mantis beings, you guys, please, expand your mind, please. There's millions or billions of insectoid races. But the Athean are a good mantis race. A founder's race. That means they're one of the creators who created other races at the top level. There's only 10 of those that I've counted. Unless you want to count the dinosaurs as one. That would be 11 races. Or, I mean, look at the... Well, let's look at the... Let me explain to you why it was hard for me to identify if that's a race or not. A founder's race or not. Let's look at the... I was just trying to say that just because you think that the praying mantis race is bad, it doesn't mean it's the Athean praying mantis race. You know, there's all kinds of Asians in the world. One group is different than another group. The Athean group is different than another mantis group. So don't, you know, you're saying it's a guardian. You're bullshit. Hello. I'm explaining to you, there's more than one mantis race. There's more than one feline race. There's more than one reptilian race. But we're talking about the top level original founders. So let's go back to that founder, Athean mantis. I actually made pictures of the Athean. Let me show that real quick. Also, it was before it became better in the artwork. But still, nevertheless, this video was based on the positive guardian praying mantis. These are not the evil ones that are working with the grays and doing, you know, going against human free will and doing operations on them and crap. No. So there's a positive guardian group of mantis. Athean. These are called Athean. The one you just saw on the PDF. Friendly guardian race. Who are trying to actually help heal some of the other insectoid races that came out of their lineage. So maybe you have a reaction to them like, oh, those are scary, those are dark, those are, you know, you hear about their stories in the UFO, you know, groups. But I'm just saying that, hey, this is a positive being. Even though they look scary to you, well, now let me go back. So the Athean is one of the races that came out of the gold flame besides the Ceres. So we got the Ceres bird people, the Athean mantis people. Remember, they're coming out of Vega. And the other group is coming out of Armentana. This group is coming out of Vega. So all the founders' races came from one planet the gold flame came out of Vega, the blue flame came out of Armatena, and the other races came out of what's called Avion. So we got Ceres, Athean, and this is where it's confusing. So it just lists those, and then it starts mentioning the fallen ones. But let's look at this diagram again. I'm closing those windows. Okay. So I know I at least listed all the ones they listed, but I didn't know which ones were founder races. Like, I just know at least these 4 are founder races. So I think that the dinosaurs must have came out of these 2 races. They must have came out of there because they look like the reptilians. So I don't think it's a founder's race. But I'm just showing you guys this so it's transparent, and maybe you can discover it yourself. There's something called dinoids or dinos. They're dinosaurs. And there's avians and different insects. So let's look at that. But there's only 4 founders races. As far as I can see, there's only 4 gold flame founder races. So, which would be the Adedicron. That's the winged reptilians. And they don't say the word Omicron here, though, but they say Draconian. Unless I don't see it right now. Oh, here, it's right here, duh. Okay. Dragon moths. So we got the Omicron dragon moths and the Adedicron, part of the gold flame. So there's 4 founder race lines. Oh, so this answers my question. Creators of the dinoids. So they create, okay, I just answered my own question. The dinosaurs are not a founder race. They were created by these Adedicron, and they're talking about these races. These races were created by the Omicron and Adedicron. So I did the time matrix diagram correctly. There's only 4 founder races, and we just covered them. The Ceres, the Athean, the Omicron, and notice these are on dimension 10, and Adedicron. So there's 4 Seraphim, Guardian races, and so, but these 2 fell. The Adedicron and the Omicron fell. And they're the ones who created Dracon, the dragons. They created the Zephylium, Zeta. Oh, wait. Okay, so yeah, I did it correct. This is in density 3. Dracos, which is created on Earth. And they even created the Necromaton. Okay, now this actually became a very powerful race, even though they were created by the Omicron and Adedicrons. And so that is confusing, and that's why I'm going to make it less confusing on my next diagram. So this was lower down here, but it started getting some higher DNA codes from the Anunnaki, from the D11. So they got way up here in D11, but they're not one of these freaking violet flame races or gold flame races. But, I'm going to make an indication of that next time on my next diagram I make. So, but yeah, so now we're done with the Seraphim gold flame. Let's finish up with the amethyst. Now we got the 3rd level primary founders called the Brahmarama. That's a weird word, but that's what they're called. They're the violet flame, and they created the Inu cetacean. That means dolphin, whales, porpoises. And so the Inu are called whale people. And then they created the Pegasi. Not a fairy tale myth creature, you guys. It's an actual being. And this is what one of my strongest spirit guides is a Pegasi. And so this is why I know I'm part of the Violet Flame Amethyst Order. So I've been wearing an amethyst on my neck since I was a teenager. Like I was already, without even being spiritual during my life, I was still a Christian back then. I was already into the crystals, the amethyst specifically was drawn to me. The purple, violet crystals really, really attracted me. And I was all into, the Pegasus. So that was another sign to me. But anyways, they created the Inu, the Pegasus, the Yoni, the aquatic apes, and the dolphins, if I can find them. Aquatic dolphins. So that's also reflected on my diagram. So 4 violet flame races, 4 gold flame races, and 2 blue flame races. That's 10 Guardian founder races who created all other extraterrestrial races in existence. Billions, is it trillions? I don't know. But there's a countless amount of beings coming from these 10 founder races. Okay? So the violet flame isn't talked about that much, you guys. Because they didn't fall. They're pleasant, they're friendly. Of course, you're going to get some distortions like the Great Red Brotherhood, Saint Germain, all this BS, which is coming out of distortions of the Ruby Order. Maybe you haven't heard of the Ruby Order. There is another order underneath the Violet Flame called the Ruby Order. That's another topic. But anyways, that covers the Guardians. Wait, I'm sorry. I was supposed to be on the PDF. I didn't know I didn't switch back to the PDF, guys. My bad. But anyways, you heard me talk about it. And so I was just showing you the PDF, though. Sorry. Inu, Pegasi, aquatic dolphins, and Yoni. Now, because the Pegasus is described as an avian horse deer, I am assuming that the deer comes out of the violet flame and the horse comes out of the violet flame. I could be wrong, but I'm just guessing. Because these are also my spirit guides. They're strongly my spirit guides. The horse has been with me. The deer has been with me. Even when I was homeless, I saw all kinds of signs of the deer out there with me in the Nevada desert, where I also saw a UFO. So I found all kinds of deer antlers. I know that's a natural thing, but when I'm hiking and I come upon these perfectly reserved pair of deer antlers, man, that's another sign of my spirit guide. Besides seeing deer when I was in the desert out there camping. So thank you guys for that. Now, these races, these primary founders, 10 primary founders, you guys should memorize them by now. Blue Flame, Anuhazi, and Anu, who fell and became the Anu Elohim. Gold Flame, Ceres, bird people, and we got the Mantis, they're called Athean. And the Adedicron, winged reptilians, and the Omicron, dragon moths. 4 races in the gold flame. In the violet flame, we have the Pegasi, the Inu whale people, the aquatic dolphins, and the aquatic apes called Yoni. These 10 founders created all other races, some of them being archangels, and some of them being angels. So it is founder avatar races. All the founders are avatar races. It is these avatar races who created archangels and angels, and then incarnates, which is we're part of the incarnate level, way down there. spiritual awakening and ascension is reclaiming our angel self, reclaiming our archangel self, and reclaiming our avatar self. Returning back to Source God. Returning back to our divine blueprint and the 12th dimensional divine blueprint. Reclaiming our 12 strands of DNA, not just double helix DNA. Machiwa. Let me refresh my screen. I want to point out something. The New Age doesn't talk about Anuhazi. They don't talk about the backstory of Anu as being a feline aquatic ape. There's no reference point to that. Nobody is talking about the Athean or the Ceres. We got Corey Good talking about the blue avians, but who knows what color the gold flame Ceres are. And nobody's mentioning Omicron. When I started talking about Omicron, people were saying, oh, is that the, COVID thing? No. But is it interesting how it's named after a fallen angel? And the Odedicron. We should know these. Ceres, Athean, Odedicron, Omicron. Now let's name the violet flame. Inu, Pegasi, Yoni, aquatic dolphins. Those, isn't it weird to realize that the dolphins are a freaking guardian race? Now, that is density 4. The dolphins on Earth are a very small DNA version of that. Just saying. Just like your little pet kitties are small DNA versions of the higher, you would say, Anuhazi. Machiwa. JJ! Woohoo! Much respect to JJ. Thank you so much. I can't tell your gender from the name, but thank you so much, JJ. You're amazing. That's a great support, great help. It makes a difference. You guys help me reach my goal. At least I want to make at least $100 for doing a live, because that's part of my income, part of paying my bills. Thank you so much, JJ. Bless you, Holy One. Woohoo! Yeah! Omkra. I don't know, Omkra. The Guardians don't talk about dog beings, but if you see the species on Earth, guess what? That means there's a species up there that are dog beings. You see, people's logic are backwards. Down here, they're seeing all these animal-looking ETs. Their logic is backwards. Life starts up here and falls down, down, down. So you're going to lose strands of DNA as you fall down. You're going to become less and less like a hominid, bipedal, ET cat person. Now with only 3 strands, because the Anuhazi have, look, this is your pet cat has 2 strands of DNA. 2 strands of DNA. The Anuhazi, this is how much strands of DNA they have. 48 strands of DNA. So when you look at my videos of feline-looking aliens, I get the most immature, low-vibe comments saying that's ridiculous, I'm schizophrenic, I'm high, I'm on drugs, all kinds of low-vibe comments when they're not on a spiritual journey, they're not awakened, they don't understand, or not even willing to go outside the box. Homies, the animal kingdoms are based on ET kingdoms. The ETs came first. So let's say an Anuhazi fell to density 3. and then it looks different. It has less DNA. Then it falls to density 2, has even less DNA. Now it's a leonine instead of an Anuhazi. Then it falls into density 1 on Earth. Now it's a little kitty cat. You see? You got to think this way down, not this way up. And think it's ridiculous that there's dolphin people and whale people and tiger people and lion people and beetle people and elephant people, and like our brother, sister were talking about, dog people. So think about the animals on Earth. Hamster aliens, skunk aliens, deer aliens. You know, those were first before the smaller animal versions. DNA started up here and fell down here. The beings up here, density 5, density 4, they have up to 48 strands, 36 strands, 24 strands, 12 strands, 6 strands, 4, 3, 2, 1 strand. One strand is subatomic life. Protons, electrons, cells, microbes. One strand entities, one strand consciousness. So that's not something you can tell every person. They're going to make fun and think it's ridiculous. But there's so many people that have seen so many different types of aliens. You better believe, if the animal is here, and that's just human Earth animals. What do you think the animals on planet Sirius, or the animals in Orion, or the animals, Pleiadian animals, those are all ETs in higher dimensions. God is great. There is so much in creation, it's hard to even fathom. When I go into my deep meditations, I'm seeing there's no more things that look like human hominids. 2 arms, 2 legs, heads, torsos. No, there's nothing like that up there. You start to look like geometries. Like I was talking to Ishmael Perez's, girlfriend, I'm assuming girlfriend or fiance. And she was talking about seeing a higher version of herself as a diamond. Okay? Just like that density 5 beings are spherical plasmic beings. No concept of arms and legs. So when I see those higher realms, I don't see humanoid beings. I see all kinds of geometries and structure-like things, and which is all super advanced consciousness. So maybe you guys see yourselves as some sacred geometry, like I just mentioned. Maybe you see a version of yourself, but just realize it's not an individual. If you see yourself as a diamond, that's a huge collective of consciousness. You're just seeing your family of consciousness. And so let's take that to another logic. Let's say you love armadillos. Well, there's some armadillo looking like ET. There's a fly looking ET. There's name some of your spirit guides. Mine's a dragonfly, one of them. There's a dragonfly ET. There's a ladybug ET. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to look exactly the same because the animal insect form is a very small piece of what those beings really look like. And according to what I've heard from Ashiana, sorry, my shoulder bugs me, that hominids start in density 3. So it confuses me. I don't know everything. So it confuses me why is some of the beings described as humanoids when the humanoids only start in density 3? I need to make a list of questions I want to ask Ashiana if I ever meet her in person. Because when I met her in Phoenix Workshop, we were told we're not allowed to ask her questions. It's kind of like same when that's understandable, you know. And there was over 500 people there. Of course, I'm not going to go up to Oceana when they told us not to go bother her. And then when I lived in Las Vegas, I was a background extra in the Matt Damon film Jason Bourne, and they told us not to go talk to Matt Damon. Okay, I was this close to Matt Damon. I said hello to Matt Damon, but I wasn't going to start a conversation. But anyways, I would love to ask Oceana several questions, and one of them is, okay, what's the deal with feline Anuhazi if there's no hominids after density 3? How can you get a feline-looking being when there's no hominids beyond the density 4? I would love for her to answer that question. So, anyways, I go based on what it says in the book, Voyager's book, and make these ET artworks. But yeah, you guys, I think that does a good job of answering some of this stuff. Extraterrestrial life is amazing. And all this talk about angels and archangels are alien beings in higher dimensions, different matter forms, different agendas. Not all of them have contacted us, but you've learned something hopefully new about the Guardian Angelic Nations, about the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, about the original primary founder races, and some of the races that came out of that. And it's all in the Voyager's books. I always recommend to you guys that you read these books. I don't read books, some people may say. You guys, you can get the PDF version and read a few pages a day. Read a chapter a day. Get through Voyager's 1. Get through Voyager's 2. Get through Angelic Realities. You just learn the tip of the iceberg of these teachings. This is just the baby introduction. There's so much more advanced stuff. There's 3 decades, almost 3 decades of teachings. 2.5 decades of teachings. So you want to start learning. I even can give myself that advice. I haven't learned it all. There's so much more I need to learn. And so, but I'm always going to offer the best suggestions on the optimal path. And I'll even say there is a group called Christic Symbiosis? Check out their group, because they have a bunch more material than I do. And there's also something called Chaos Library. There's something called AscensionGlossary.com. That's a resource. There's an Azurite dictionary that's out there. There's dictionaries for this stuff. There's glossaries. Man, there's no excuse, you guys. And another way you can support this work is to become a paid member. So if some of you are interested, because I use my own time, my own free time, to create manual. I had to manually write the words for these videos they were originally on VHS tapes. I have to take the original footage and write out the words, because man, oh man, some of the audio is horrible. So the AI translations gets it all wrong. It becomes totally useless trying to transcribe the audio. So I have to manually do it. So this is part of my value of putting that in the membership area. My time is put in the members area, my extra time. So I do the transcripts by hand because they're completely inaccurate with automatic transcripts. You guys have seen automatic transcripts even on YouTube. Even YouTube can't get it right. They have an advanced algorithm. They can't even get all the words right. Especially when you start saying words like Janus. Do you think the AI or algorithm knows what Janus is? Or knows what Armatena is? or knows what Anuhazi is, you know, it's not going to know all these words. So it's important to transcribe all these videos by hand and share them with people. And that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing this work with people. If you guys have any questions tonight, please write them right now. It's an honor being here with you guys. A special shout out to all of my moderators, Indigo Wizard, Celine, Sarah Holder, Stardust Goddess, Mr. Mandism, Starman. Thank you guys for being here with me. There you go. You're getting some of those PDFs. Oh yeah, the books on Amazon and eBay are being what you call scalped. Scalpers are selling those. If someone really cares and wants to put a physical book in someone's hand, they're not going to charge $160. I've seen them over $200. Some people have reported over $300. You don't need the books, but if you want to invest in it, go for it. Just go to Amazon. Go to eBay. You'll find a physical copy. Is it going to be used? Most likely. This has been out of print for a while. You're not going to find a brand new version. But my version's got candle wax on them. But they're still, you know, see this candle wax? But it's still valuable to me to have the physical energy. If you believe in osmosis, put it under your pillow every night. But you want to read it too. So, but those of you who don't want to shell out a few $100s, get the free PDF. I love the PDF because you can highlight it. You can do Control F and find keywords in it. You can't do that on a physical book. And a digital copy you can share with other people. You can send it to your loved ones or a family member. Hey, check out this. It rocks my world. It changed my whole life. These teachings changed my whole life. Before these teachings, I had no idea what was an angel or an archangel. I didn't even have an idea what aliens were. Okay? It is these teachings, which a lot of you coming and being birthed in this planet were part of these teachings. You're part of the Guardians, what we talked about tonight. You're part of the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. You're one with the Guardian Angelic Nations. You're a starseed indigo coming to Earth to help. Help heal, help awaken others, help heal the planet. And so it's a group thing, you guys. We come here as a group. We're finding each other as a group. I'm finding people and meeting people, and they don't have to be associated with these teachings. Like when I went to the alien event, we met new people. I met new friends. They don't have to be following the Christos. When I can notice that they're a legitimately awakened person seeking truth and their own journey. Like Julia was a perfect example. She's become now like a friend, and we'll be working together. And you guys want to join us in the Las Vegas alien event, okay? Because some of us are going to come together as a group. It doesn't mean we're going to hang out with each other, the whole group, but we'll be in contact. And, you know, there's times where you have lunch. There's times where you have dinner. There's times where you go socialize. And maybe we'll sit together in some of the same workshops or whatever you feel called to. This would be nice to meet some of you in person. So, and I even have to travel to the Vegas event because I don't live in Vegas right now. But when I can, I'm going to move back to Vegas. Because I'm tired of being separated from all these groups and all these events, and especially the drum circles. I can't come to the drum circles all the time because I live an hour and a half away, which is a 3-hour round trip if I go to one of those events. So, but yeah. Plus, you're going to be in Vegas, baby. Maybe you'll stay longer than the 3-day seminar and go check out the strip. Go check out the sites. You know, it is a big tourist location. So, and you're going to bring your Christic vibe, your angelic starseed vibe. You're going to be meeting people. Maybe you'll go to a casino and make $1,000. Who knows? I went to the Hooters hotel. I was going to different hotels and checking the when I used to not be so spiritual, I was checking which one had the best energy. When I went to Hooters, I actually won $1,500. Of course, I lost that playing more, but you know what I'm saying? It was just fun to go out there and meet people, talk to people, and see what's going on in the world. It's called Sin City, but are you bringing sin to the city? Or are you bringing this awakening, this conversation, this indigo vibration? It's a great honor to be with all of you guys here. Thank you so much. A shout out to all of the members. Thank you guys for being members. And since it's the end of the live, I always like to say, you guys, please support the work. Become a member or buy one of my crystals. Check out my artwork. And also, hey, you know, this is a great time to be alive. And if you join the members area, if you don't have the Discord link, ask me, because I'll give you the Discord link, and you can join our rooms. We have a bunch of different rooms. We have chat going on there sometimes. So it'd be great to have you guys. I'm going to be finishing up this live, and I'll be talking about getting Tom back on the show, and I'll set up a schedule with him, and I want to I'll invite some of the other people who I met at the alien event, but they don't have to be at the alien event. There's other different people that I could have on the show. It's very difficult if the person doesn't speak great English. So if you guys recommend someone to me, make sure they speak good, clear English, because it's not going to be a good live if everyone's like, huh, what did they say? What did they say? I don't understand them. What are they saying? Also, just give me the link to the person's profile, and I will check them out. Maybe we'll have them on the show. And we've had a few guests, so it's not hard to find somebody. I might invite Ishmael Perez soon. I don't see a lot of things that we agree with, but there must be something we agree with. So, and there's a few other people who are at the alien event I want to invite, so we'll look forward to that. And we should set up another Zoom meeting with you guys. Get some interviews with some of you guys. It could just be your own 10 minutes or 15 minutes of talking about your journey, you know, because we had Stardust Goddess on, and Sarah Holder was on, and even Celine came on and talked about their journeys, and we had another Indigo homie family come on, and a few people that come regularly. I'd like to see Giannis if she wants to talk. Maybe Mr. Madizum could come back. He's very good on the camera. And even if some of your journey was hard, you know, or not fun. Some of my journey was not fun. I went through hell in my life. Man, pain. We're not meant to experience that kind of pain and anger and all that stuff. You know, these teachings really turned my whole life around. And it's a great honor to share these with us, to share this with the world, you guys. So thank you for being part of this. Thank you to the members. Thank you to the moderators and all those regulars. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. And you could just say that over and over and over without singing. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. This is Anuhazi language. This is powerful affirmation. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. I am Christar. I am Christar. I am Christar. That's you recognizing your 12th dimensional selves, plural. I am God, I am sovereign, I am free. Repeating that confirmation regularly. Learn some of these Anuhazi songs, you guys. The resources are out here. I'm not the only one sharing resources. Christic Symbiosis is sharing a ton of resources. There's all kinds of other people like me talking about these teachings. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. We have a great community. We have a great bunch of regulars. A lot of positive, awakening people. It's a great honor to be walking this journey with all of you, each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Yeah, baby. What's up? Angels and archangels, baby. Spiritual gangsters. Gangsters in Christos. Christos G's. And I wouldn't even mind going to a nightclub afterwards. One of those kick-ass nightclubs in Vegas, baby. It will be an awesome trip. I'm sure we can get like 10 of us, 12 of us, 20 of us, okay? And I'll see if I can get a link. This event is not cheap. It's like $400, $500, depending if you want to get the buffet. I always go to the buffet, the dinner, because I get to meet these speakers and other attendees. So it's worth the extra $100 for that, you guys. I mean, that's expensive, but I'm just saying, you have until September. I have another trip planned in Sedona, so I have to come up with extra money to go to both events. But I'm telling you now, so some of you will make it out in September. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching my live tonight. I'll see you on Saturday. Much respect to all of you in your spiritual journey. Namaste. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Do, 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 do.